Broken Homes. This is a podcast for musicians and artists alike. My name is Mark.
And I'm Renegade.
And we're going to talk with folks about anything from new releases to tour stories.
The good, the bad, and the worst. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back to Ragged Bones, a Robbers Roost podcast. Who do we have with us here today, Ren?
Today we're hanging out with Greg from Bobby's Ore from Seattle, Washington.
Hello. Thanks.
So, how would you describe your music?
I would say I'm a songwriter, so kind of like folky songs and kind of punk songs. I just like writing songs, so it kind of switches in like the way they're delivered, kind of folky sometimes, full band another, but I'm a songwriter.
Sweet. How long have you been active as Bobby's Ore?
I've been doing Bobby's Ore for 4 or 5 years now.
Cool.
So it started in Florida. I wrote a record with some friends out there and then moved out here and kind of was like, started playing shows right away and just met some friends. But it was cool to be able to move with kind of like a full account of songs already, you know what I mean? Which is super nice. So
do you technically say that now that you're stationed in Seattle or you live in Seattle, do you say that Bobby's Ore would be from Seattle or would you say from Florida?
From Seattle. Yeah,
okay.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, where did the name come from?
There's a hockey player called Bobby Orr. So, it was my brother who thought of it, and it was just didn't know a band name, and I was like, I don't fucking know what to pick, and he just said it, and I was like, that's actually pretty sick.
That's
so
pretty
gonna be
rad.
it.
Bobby's Ore.
So that was cool.
What do you do outside of music?
Outside of music, I do screen printing. I print T-shirts and stuff for a lot of bands around town.
Wonderfully, might I add. I'm looking at it on the wall right now. It looks great.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. I like skateboarding. That's pretty cool. I love basketball. I don't know. I've been trying to just get more active and run around a little bit.
That's awesome.
I just love that. So
yeah.
I don't know. Just living in Seattle, hanging out.
Yep.
So.
Sweet.
Do you have any animal friends, and what are their names?
Do not have any animal friends. We got a bunch of fish though, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Name them.
We got 2 snails, and it's Snail Bert and Snail Burton, which are the names. And that's Stephanie's idea, but I love the names for them.
That's awesome.
We got a couple fish.
Where were you born and raised?
Born and raised. I was born in Minnesota, but my parents just traveled around a lot, so I kind of feel like I grew up in Vermont and then moved to Florida and out here. But it was every 4 years we kind of just moved around, so it was it was just a lot, It was Vermont, Maryland, Kansas, Wisconsin, Vermont, Florida, then out here. So it was legit every 4 years we kind of moved.
Of all the places that you moved to as a kid, where was your favorite place to live?
Florida was kind of sick, but Vermont was tight too. They just I don't know. I was old enough really to have much say in it or make friends and do adult shit kind of.
Yeah.
But Florida was cool because it kind of was so shitty that everyone bonded together because of it, you know? And there was just really a tight-knit music community. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was how I it fell in love with music, and it was fucking sick. I just didn't know anything about music until Florida, and I just went to this one, it was an apartment place that did shows. It was called the Cassette House in Melbourne, and I had no fucking idea. It was a screamo band or something, but I just didn't know about DIY or anything about house show, and it was just the coolest thing,
Right.
And I just got super into all that. So Florida was awesome just because of that. But it's also really hot. So
getting into music and all that jazz. When did you first start playing music, and what was the first instrument what was your first encounter with it?
I just play guitar. I don't know. I always play guitar and sang and stuff. I played in a metalcore band in high school.
That's all nice. Yeah.
Which was super silly. We were called Chaotic Order was the band name.
That's awesome.
But it was
badass.
it was kind of badass. It was but it was a band where we would say we were gonna play music, and we just watched School of Rock that we watched that a shit ton, and would just hang out. We never played music. It was just an excuse for us to kind of get together. But I don't know, did that, and then kind of got into punk stuff and started writing stuff electrically a little differently, and then picked up an acoustic, and then just started writing songs from there, and
Sweet.
kind of went down that route.
Okay, how many times have you been around the sun?
Ooh, Last time you asked this question, I had no idea that Around the Sun was a year, and I said 420, and I was just like totally guessing because I was like, this is absurd. 28 times Around the Sun, but I did not pick up on that the last time we did that. I was like, how
It's
the
a
fuck
weird way to
am I
ask that
supposed to know
question,
how many times Around the Sun? 28,
So how old are you, Greg?
My dumb ass.
Okay, so do you have any weird hobbies, or do you collect anything? Any?
My weird hobby is probably last summer. I like got into magnet fishing. I think I told you all about this last time. But I like got the magnet, and it's like a big rope, and you just go to lakes and throw this magnet in the lake.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
It's fucking
awesome
sick.
idea.
I wanna
It's
do
so
that.
sick. Yeah,
Oh, that's such
Ellensburg
a
is
genius
sick.
idea.
Yeah, and you just like get all this metal
Kari
come
Lake.
to. It's fucking tight, you
Yes,
know. So
I'm
yeah.
down.
Such a goddamn good idea.
Yeah, but
Oh
it was
my
just
God.
dorky because I was in Seattle and I was just like, I look like such an idiot right now. Like
Silverware? Any silverware?
I found car keys, like a few
Car
fishing
keys,
lures, yeah, and I was like,
Did you find any jewelry? That's what I'd be like.
No.
a
oh,
lot of
fine.
jewelry. I
No.
feel like gold's not magnetic too,
yeah,
so
you're
you
right.
won't find too much like
Dang.
gold or silver.
I didn't know
Silver
that,
magnet?
though.
No, silver's not magnetic.
yeah.
That
You're
still
totally right,
sounds
but yeah, I
awesome.
didn't know. It's like a lot of tools and shit you find.
Tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that shit, dude. Hell yeah. But yeah, y'all
We're
would
definitely
probably.
gonna
Sounds
do that.
really fun. I'm down.
Everybody listening to the podcast should go take a rope and a giant magnet, throw it in some water, and see what you can find.
It's crazy, yeah, and like
Whoa.
the strengths that you can buy are like nuts. So like people can pull out like bicycles and shit. So it's like
Oh
you
my
can find,
gosh.
yeah, like
Okay,
it's,
my question is, how did you come
cra-
up with this hobby? Like, where did
I
you...
honestly I found it in like a YouTube rabbit hole, like,
Oh, okay.
and I was just like, this is nuts, and then just like had no idea about the concept of it, and just like
It's like metal detecting to
Yeah.
the next level.
totally.
You should get an electromag. No, no, you kill fish and stuff. Never
Yeah.
mind. That's a bad idea. It's a very
Whoa,
bad idea.
whoa.
I see where you're at, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
do not
it's
do
bad.
that.
Yeah, do not do that.
But also, like, I did it in a really muddy spot too, so you get like covered in dirt.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
so that's
yeah.
the only thing. It's just like
It's dirty.
Prepare for it. You know?
Yeah.
But that was
Such a good one. Oh, that's
that's
good.
funny.
Okay, what's the worst movie you have ever seen?
The worst movie. Ooh, man. We saw that movie last year. It was the Sherlock Holmes movie with Will Ferrell. Did you see that
Yeah.
movie or
Yeah.
hear about it? It was like just fucked up bad. Like Holmes and Watson. That's what it was. And it
Holmes
was like,
and Watson,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
yep.
was like Will Ferrell and then John C. Reilly.
Did you see it?
I think I saw bits and pieces of it, but
I
I,
thought-
don't
yeah.
think I think I tried to watch it and I fell asleep or something.
You know what we came across? We watched the movie. This is mine for right now. I got to say this just because that
Hell
reminded
yeah.
me. But
No, I'd love to hear
was the Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers? It is horrible.
Shit, man. I
It's
haven't seen
so
that in a
bad.
minute.
Like, yeah, just go
It's
watch
really
it.
off-putting.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I felt
It's so
very
bad.
uncomfortable. Now that I'm an adult and I can understand the adult humor in it, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha,
Like, it's different
yeah.
when you watch a kid's movie and you're a kid, but like, as an adult watching a kid's movie, the amount of adult humor that they put in there, it's way totally obviously for the parents. You know what I
Totally.
mean? Because the parents are probably like, man, this is boring as hell. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
It's
but
funny
yeah, I
though.
wouldn't recommend Cat in the Hat.
Is it also just like a cat with Michael Myers' face? Is that kind of the vibe he
It's
looks
like Michael Myers as an adult in a cat costume.
And
It
there's
looks so bad.
tons of sexual innuendos and like
Gotcha.
really weird.
Weird.
Yeah, it's definitely more geared towards adults than children. I
No
would say
shit.
personally, in my opinion.
I would say
Anyway.
Bicentennial Man.
Okay.
I can never get that
Damn.
like 3 or 4 hours of my
That's
life
fair.
back. It is
Yeah.
so boring.
Shit.
That's how I feel when
That's
I watch
fair.
a
Hell
movie
yeah.
that's like just horrendous. At the end of it, I'm just like, please have a redeeming quality
Totally.
somehow. And then at the end, when there's no redeeming quality, I just think,
Fuck
I'm
you.
never getting
Fuck
that
you,
2.5
movie.
hours of my life back ever again. It was
Totally.
wasted on that.
Totally.
So that's why I think that's a good question.
Did y'all see the new It movie at all?
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought it was amazing.
It was so good,
It
but
was
good.
great.
It was long though.
It was
really
long.
There was a
Yeah,
couple
it was
times where I
super
was just
long.
like, come
Is
on.
it over yet?
It was like when they all like spoiler like did the split off thing, you know, like I was just like they drug it out so long to where I was like this didn't have to be 3 hours. Like
Yeah,
I love
it
this
was long.
movie, but
It was good though.
it was.
I thought it was
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Most recent show and or tour plans or anything coming up? Like, have you released anything recently?
Yeah, we did the EP at the beginning of the year, which is cool. It's like more of a full band direction, which is like super fun to kind of explore that sound a little bit, you know. But we have a show December 6th at the Kraken, and then
cool.
beginning of next year. Yeah, it's a cool one too. It's like a toy drive.
Sweet.
Y'all know him, like
Yeah.
Stephen Cole Smith's one
Yeah,
organizing
totally.
it.
Yeah, we saw the June Bugs thing.
Yeah, so it's with their band, us, and then 2 other bands, Four Lights and Hell God from the Kraken.
Sweet.
So it's gonna be super
That's
fun.
awesome.
That should be awesome. And what date was that again?
December 6th.
Cool.
Yeah.
Everybody go to the Kraken in
Go to the
Seattle on
Kraken.
December 6th and
Hell
watch
yeah.
Bobby Zor play some music.
Fuck yeah. But we're gonna do a tour next year probably, which will be
Sweet.
super cool. I haven't done a full band one ever, so it's like just in my brain to where it's like I really want to try that, you know. And then like I love solo tours are fun, you know, but it's just such a different fucking game, you know. And like I don't know, I'm super excited to try it, you know.
Hell yeah.
So.
Let's see. What is your favorite tour location?
Ooh, Florida's dope. Corvallis, Oregon is fucking awesome too. That's like my other
Really?
spot. Yeah, so they have like a. Y'all should totally fucking play Corvallis. They have this. It's Corvallis DIY is the people who set it up.
Okay.
But they do stuff at like Inner Zone Coffee Shop, and then they have like a bunch of house shows down there.
Sweet.
But it's fucking rad.
Hell yeah. I've
So-
never hit them up. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
awesome.
cool, and they're like.
DIY.
Yeah, they're like a little south of Portland, and it's just like every time I tour out of Seattle, I'm like, go to see those motherfuckers.
That's
you know?
awesome because finding another place in that direction,
Totally.
I
The
guess.
web of cities.
Yeah,
Totally.
that would be great. Hell yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, anything south, I feel like up to Seattle or Portland, you're like, where the fuck am I playing? To
Yeah.
Oakland or something, you know?
Okay, so if you could tour anywhere in the world, where would you go? When you tour anywhere in the world.
I would love, like, a bucket list has always been, like, Europe. That's, like, so fucking cool, you know?
Yeah, same.
That's, like, the coolest shit. I don't know. I like to, like, travel places, too. You know what I mean? Like, I just, like, in different, like, ways of it. I don't know. I feel like tours, you kind of sometimes see a little bit less of spots, you know?
Because you're in a
That's true,
rush
'cause
to
you're
get to the
working.
next
Yeah.
place. And,
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think if I would do anywhere outside of the U.S., I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking do like days off and just like actively see some
Yeah,
cool shit.
definitely.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But Europe's like always been like a bucket list. Like even if you just play any music over there, is like that's gotta be so cool to be like on the other side and be like, I am so far from home right now.
Yeah.
You know, like this is
We can do
tight.
one
Yeah.
show, like first European show, you know?
Yes, hell yeah. That'd be sick.
What is your craziest tour story, good or bad?
The craziest tour story.
Or like show story, something that happened involving music.
Yeah. A crazy one would. I don't know. I probably said the same time last time. It's not even a story, but it was I went on tour with this band Reservoir from Pennsylvania, and they flew out to the West Coast, and we used one of our friends' vans, and I just like opened the shows with my acoustic guitar, and like I had no dog in like I was like it wasn't my van, like I didn't really have to drive, so I was just like I'm fucking hanging out. This band was like flying out here for like 7 shows, which they kind of saw it as a vacation too.
Yeah.
Like it was just so fun.
That's
you know?
awesome. So
Like-
like no responsibilities, just fun, like you're out
totally,
like,
man.
playing
And-
music.
Yeah, and I just never met him really before too, so it was kind of just being like, this could be weird. Let's fucking hope this is tight. And it
Yeah.
was just really cool to like, I don't know, just that whole week was like just super fun.
That's awesome.
And spontaneous too, and just like random shit. It was really sick.
Hell
so,
yeah.
But
Oh, okay. Do you have any paranormal stories or like conspiracy theories or weird shit? Bigfoot?
ooh,
Aliens,
ooh.
ghosts.
It's okay if
I
you don't.
wish. No, I love all this stuff. I love it. I just don't think I have my own story of it. I want to so bad, you know? But I think if you want it, then it's like, it's not going to really happen.
I feel like I
or
don't
be
have my
genuine.
own either. Like I feel like any stories that I even ever have are somebody else's stories. Like that's not really things that happen to me like I've seen. But
Yeah. Do you have any stories at all?
No, not really. I've seen some weird lights in the sky, and I'm like, that's a UFO.
yeah, stuff like that.
But I
yeah.
mean, that's probably the extent of my experiences, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the dumbest thing you've been arrested for? And it's okay if you haven't been arrested.
I have not been arrested.
It's good
no.
if you
Yeah, that's
right?
good.
Lucky
Under the
if
radar.
you've
Not
lived
bad.
28 years around the sun and you've not been arrested. Snaps.
Oh, yeah.
Snaps.
Thanks, homies.
Ooh, do that one. We don't ever do
Okay.
that one.
Okay, 3 things that you're scared of.
3 things I'm scared of.
Good.
That is pretty good. One would be snakes. Snakes. That's so
That's
generic.
valid.
That's fucking
No,
dumb
that's
answer,
generic.
bro.
Snakes
But-
and spiders.
Yeah, snakes. I guess, like, in a fucked up weird way, like if something happened to like my family and I was living out here, I'd feel like really guilty. You know what I mean? Like for like not living near my family.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
totally
Where that's like
Yep.
one where I'd be like, oh, that would suck. You know what I mean? So something weird like that. And then drowning. I don't know.
I was about to say, are you
it's
afraid of
scary.
drowning?
Yeah, it's a
I was
scary
about to-
one.
That's,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
That one's fucked
Those
up.
are intense ones. Yeah, damn. That's an intense
What are y'all,
question.
what are
That's a
y'all
good
afraid
question.
of? You never get this question then if you never ask it, right?
Oh, man.
I used to be really, really, really afraid of clowns, and
Ooh.
I really wanted to see that movie, It, the more recent made one.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just try. And I thought that I would not be able to handle watching that movie because I was so afraid of clowns for the longest time. And now I don't feel as afraid of clowns. And I really
Hell
enjoyed
yeah.
the movie. And then I even watched the old one. And then I watched It 2 in theaters. And it's just really exciting because I like being scared and I like the jumpy, scary feeling, you know? So
Yeah.
I feel like I overcame my fear of clowns. but-
Good for you. Hell yeah.
So,
So.
mine, I would say, like, shit, I'm going to get really personal, I guess, with this, but would be, like, I'm scared of not being accepted, of, like, people not liking me for who I am, like, not being, like, or, you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know.
It makes
Just
sense.
for-
I think everybody's afraid of that.
I'm
If
pretty,
you think
I'm pretty
about it deep
goddamn
down.
terrified of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one
a
I
good
feel
one.
like.
I
Yeah.
don't think most people would admit to that. So,
Hell yeah.
snaps for Mark.
Snaps, homie. Hell yeah. I'm right there with you, my friend.
I'm totally afraid of getting kidnapped, though.
That would
Seriously,
suck, yeah.
deep down,
She
my
still
biggest
talks
fear,
about this.
my biggest
Like,
fear
that's the
since I
thing.
was a little tiny girl was that I was going to get. I'm not
shit.
going to go too deep into it, but I was going to get kidnapped, and then things were going to get really dark and really bad. So I do
That's- yeah.
any and all things to avoid the bad things at all costs. So, like, I wear tennis shoes or some type of shoe strapped around my entire foot at all times. I will never
Damn.
wear sandals because even if it's just the fact that your car broke down on the side of the road and you are 2 miles away from civilization and you have to walk to get gas, if I have tennis shoes on, I'm going to walk a hell of a lot longer and a lot
Hell
easier than if I'm
fucking
wearing
yeah,
flip-flops, you know?
homie. God
So no
damn.
matter what, you always got to prepare, you know? That's how I live
Yeah.
life. Prepare for the worst, but like be
Hope
ready
for
for
the
the
best.
best. Yeah,
That's
exactly,
fucking
exactly.
sick. Yeah, y'all are
Okay,
like
so-
awesome with that.
What about most embarrassing moments that you're willing to admit?
And you don't have to.
Most embarrassing moments. Ooh, I know what's in my brain, but that's like not on the podcast.
Yeah. you can skip. Like, you can just say, nah, and then we can just skip that too. Like,
I guess like starting playing and just like fucking up really bad. That
Mm-hmm.
shit was like when I first started playing. I just remember that feeling, being like, "This is the worst feeling I've ever fucking felt."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
breaking a string and not knowing how to like handle the situation, or like yeah, you know what I mean? Just crash and burn up there and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh fuck."
And then there's all these
Just,
people
like,
just staring at you
That
really
feeling,
quietly and awkwardly.
yeah, and
Yep.
it's like only usually a few people, but it's just like handling that for the first time was
yeah.
probably one of the worst
Yep.
you're
feelings.
sitting there in crickets, people staring at you, and like,
Totally.
Can I
man.
ask this one?
oh, sure, go ahead.
Fuck
Okay.
yeah.
What is your favorite quote or saying?
Ooh, Winnie the Pooh is the one, and it's the people say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
quote,
That's good.
dude.
That's awesome.
That's so
That's a
sick.
good one. 30-second shout out to all your favorite
I
bands.
did
Go.
this last time. Kids on Fire, Tiny Dragon Music, Dog Breath, Burn Burn Burn, Old Doris, Black Ends, Antonioni, Robbers
killing it.
Roost, Robbers Roost, Bigger Than Mountains, Bird Teeth, Loud Sleepers, Hell God, fucking The Kraken. Were Lucky Lickers where you playing tonight? You play with
10
Truckman
seconds.
Boys. Oh fuck! Now I'm fucking trailing off. A Fistful of Vinyl. That's not a band.
No, it's still shout outs.
Vulture,
Like,
etc.
time up.
There we go.
Okay, I think you
killing
get
it.
extra snaps. That was very
Thank you,
impressive.
thank you,
That was
thank
a
you,
lot
thank
of
you.
bands.
I think you named.
That was good.
Yeah, how many? Like, if
I just went
could count
That
running.
was good.
Thank
That
you.
was
That was
impressive.
great. That was good.
Bowing down to Greg over here.
Damn, yeah, last time you hit it with me, I was like, nothing. I was like, I know they're going to do that shit
I'm
again.
not gonna.
Mind you, for those of you listening, we tried to record an episode with Greg previously, and we forgot our recording equipment. So we did it on the telephone, and it didn't sound as good. So now we're doing it again.
We're redoing
And
it.
Thanks for
now
doing
it
it
just gives
again,
us an
y'all.
extra
Hell
reason
yeah.
to come hang out with you.
I
so.
love it. Hell yeah.
So throughout school, were you ever in a physical altercation? Did you ever get in a fight?
I never got in a fight, but I was just telling my partner Stephanie about this, but I got punched twice. But it was like deservingly punched. Like I was just being kind of just like an asshole, but like just like poking fun like a little too much, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember those moments and being like, you kind of deserve that, you know? That was it.
That's funny.
Smacked in the head twice.
Oh, hey, that's lovely.
I wrote it right before we, as we were typing this
I really like this.
Thanks.
You're the first one to get this question.
Do y'all got a printer in your van? Or what?
No.
I was like, holy
FedEx.
shit,
FedEx
homie.
Kinko's.
Wait, no, actually, it was the local print shop in Ellensburg. Yeah,
my
it was
bad.
the local print shop.
Take that. Delete the FedEx
Fuck you,
Kinko's
FedEx.
link.
FedEx, man.
We're driving an old FedEx van, but fuck you, FedEx.
Thanks, FedEx. Okay, so if you wanted to leave a big impression on the world, what would it be?
A big impression.
Everybody knows Greg.
I just like, I don't know. It feels weird because it's almost like I feel like I haven't followed it, but like sometimes just like be positive and like be kind and keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like those are all good ways to live by, you know, and kind of just like trust in like your intuition a little bit too. You know what I mean? Like if a situation's not good for you, then be like, peace. And
it
like,
takes a
move
lot of
on.
strength to be able to be like, peace, I'm out. Do you know what I mean? So I
Because shit always works out. It's like funny. Like, I don't know, the world's just trippy like that, you know? Like if you ever, I don't know, it works out, you know? It's weird, so.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, homie.
Yeah, no thank you.
So, where do folks find your music?
It's on Bandcamp. It's on Spotify, on Facebook and Instagram. It's Bobby Zor. Our latest EP was called Knots. We got a show December 6th at the Kraken in Seattle.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Thanks, man.
Firing up.
Trying, homie. But it's online. The music is online. Podcasts are very cool, but it's funny how it's like harder for older people to understand. You know what I mean? Like telling my parents about it, it's like
It's
a
like
foreign
a talk
concept,
show.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I listen to a lot screen printing, but outside of that, like, it's hard to find, like, a couple hours to sit down with something,
Yeah,
you know?
Yep.
yeah. Ours is driving. Like, mainly we'll do a little driving.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It just makes me think of talk radio. Like when I was a
Totally.
kid, my dad always had us listening to talk radio, and I was always just sleeping because it was so boring.
Boring.
But now that I'm an adult and I actually listen, when I'm listening to a podcast, I pay attention. I totally get it. You know what
I
I mean?
think it's
Yeah.
the content. I think the content
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah, and it's also if it's something that interests you. Or your
that's
friend.
what I mean.
Like, if
Yeah.
it's my friend, I'm like, hell yeah, I totally want to hang out
Yeah.
with my friend while they do. Like, I'm in my car listening to them talking to someone else, but it feels like I'm hanging out with them. You know
Hell
what
I've
I
said
mean?
this like 1,000 times to people, but I've never said it on the podcast. But like the podcast is probably one of my favorite things that we do because it's not about us. Like it's
Totally.
about everybody else, you know, in the
Totally,
scene
man.
and people. And then you also learn all these crazy details and stories that you would never have known otherwise. Like if you didn't sit down and talk to them about it. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
we just get
Totally,
to know
man.
our friends in a
Yeah.
more deeper, more intimate, beautiful level. You know
I think
what I
it's
mean?
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it so fun, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
if we were to play 2 songs of yours on the end of this podcast, what should we play?
Compass in the City, I'd say that'd be a cool one. And then In the Woods, older songs. Those two. Compass in the
Yeah.
City, In the Woods.
Cool.
There we go.
Gotcha. We will play those. Compass in the City and in the Woods.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate
Yeah, thanks so
it.
much for having me, y'all.
Yeah.
This is fucking sick.
Thanks for
Hell
having
yeah.
us over. And
Y'all
for
heard it,
hanging out
Bobby
with us.
Zor, single Bobby Zor. You also have the full band too, though, right? But
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
just you for the podcast. Thanks for doing this.
Hell
I
yeah,
appreciate
homie.
it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
Sound
Sound effects.
Hey, Mark, can we take a quick break for a brief word from our sponsors?
Oh, Ren, that's a great idea.
Hey, y'all ever heard of a band called Steel City Joke Slammers? They got a new album out called Hot Butter. Hot Butter is a spreadable form of audio twang, hot and dripping through your ear holes. Full fat, full cream, full flavor. Ask for it by name. Hot Butter, the new album from Steel City Joke Slammers. Looking for that new hit piece of merch that won't break the bank? Bob's Angry Pins can help. They produce high-quality custom pinback buttons for bands, businesses, events, and more. Reference Ragged Bones Podcast and you'll receive 10% off your first order. Start yours by getting in touch today. Facebook.com/Bob's Angry Pins. Bob's Angry Pins at gmail.com.
Hey, I loved y'all set. You guys have band shirts?
No? Well, what are you waiting for? Call now for DIY t-shirts. One color, ink design on sustainably sourced used shirts that are better for the environment and come in a variety of sizes, styles, and color for a comparable cost to what you'd get them from a big corporation. Call Jeff at 860-908-2064 or search Jeff Butler Trio on Facebook. That's JEFFBUTLER Trio.
Hi, I'm Logan from Misdemeanor. Have you thought about shitting your pants? Why use a toilet when you can just shit your pants? Shit your pants. Try it. It's free. Maybe just shit your pants.
Keep on swinging down that hammer, and soon you'll find the truth. Because if all the world are believers, well then why are they leaving you? Learn to be steady without moving. We'll shake the purple from the bruising, and we'll stand a pace away from the issues that are driving you insane. Skeleton of a love song, I find hope in the words, 'cause when I'm feeling swallowed by heartache, I wanna sing these words loud. I know it's the compass in these cities that will not stop spinning. I have a dream, I'll grow and I'll love these cities again. Drawn to buildings, success is a magnetic pull. Yeah, well, the chase, it'll keep you hungry until it slowly will eat you whole. And how long can you fight it when the air comes calling in a world built on pavement? Still need soil for roots to grow. I know it's the compass in these cities that will not stop spinning. I have a dream, I will grow and I will love these seeds again. Yeah, it's the compass in these cities that will not stop spinning. I have a dream, I will grow and I will love these cities again. Wouldn't have it any other way. Away we go in the woods where we lost ourselves. Nothing that exists is real if you tell yourself that's true. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. So let me pick away at your brain. I wanna know all your secrets, 'cause I'd be willing to bet you're as good as it gets at making me lose my mind. And all at once I saw the fire in your eyes, and I thought to myself, I'm glad that everybody dies. that day, walking home in the pouring rain. I love. And I told myself I won't feel bad for my mistakes. Sometimes you have to fall and you will fall hard. And I'm drunk on the rooftop of my East Orlando home. I'm waiting for a phone call I don't want to have. And life gets hard when you least expect it to. So it gives me comfort knowing everyone dies.
Thanks so much for tuning in. If you'd like to seek out or support any of the artists we've hosted today, we've attached links to this episode.
We're pretty darn hardworking artists ourselves, so if you'd like to show us some love and support, you can find us through our music, Robbers Roost.
Hey, check out our Patreon. It's probably the best way to support us. Also, check us out on social media because we plan to release these every Tuesday. Spill the beans, Ren.
Search for Robbers Roost, podcast or band on any platform. We got merch, tour dates, and all the fun stuff.
Ragged Bones from Broken Homes. This has been another episode with Mark
and Renegade.
Stay tuned, folks.
Is that a musician joke?